What we've said, I'd ask you to go back and look at your notes if you were working in December and go and have a look at what the Coalition was saying then. Every single day they demanded that Parliament be brought back. They stood up at press conferences and said Parliament should be meeting today and we should be passing hate laws today. That is what they said. They did it in writing, they did it in press conferences day after day after day, and that was reported substantially. What the government has done is to draft laws, to have an exposure draft of those laws, which is something that doesn't always happen, have a committee process so people can examine those laws. I have stood up repeatedly when I announced them and said, we want this to receive strong support, particularly from the parties of government. The parties of government should be supporting this across the board. And we've said that if you have ideas for changes, please put them forward. Now, the Coalition yet to put forward a single proposed change. They haven't bothered to have a shadow cabinet meeting as of yesterday at the time that Susan Ley had her press conference. They hadn't even had an internal process because they have had people going out there and saying they would oppose these laws before they had even read them. Now, I think that these laws and outlawing hate speech is important. I agree with many of the statements that have been made. We worked with the community, including the Executive Council of Australian Jewry, but we consulted other faith groups as well prior to the legislation being released on Monday, when the opposition received a full briefing. 2 weeks before that, or the week before that, on January 5, I met with the Leader of the Opposition. She said then that they had prepared draft legislation. I expressed some surprise at that, given how complex it is, and said if you give that to us, we'll feed that into the process. We're yet to see that. The opposition seem to think that they can be defined by just what they're against. I want to know what they're for. What changes are they for? Can we work these things through cooperatively? That's what I've been trying to do. Not play politics. I haven't been shouting. I haven't been banging lecterns. I haven't been engaged in performative conduct. What I have done is to put forward proposals after consultation, sitting down with the Leader of the Opposition on a weekly basis, but always available for the Leader of the Opposition or anyone else for that matter to engage constructively. So that is what should occur.
Extend protections though just to get it through with the Greens, or is it got to be a win-win?
Well, what I want to see is the Parliament come together. I've said it consistently. I have said consistently this should be a moment of national unity. After Port Arthur, after the Link Cafe siege, after the Bali bombing, after all of these tragic national events which had an impact on our nation, what we didn't have was a politicisation. And that is what I have not engaged in. And I just say to the opposition, if you have changes that you want to make, tell us what they are. If you have things that you support, tell us what it is you actually support. Because you said you supported bringing back the Parliament and now it's too early. You said you supported hate speech and now you say that it's too hard. Some of your members are saying it goes too far. Some are saying it doesn't go far enough. Tell us what you are in favour of, and then you can have the basis of a discussion.
Jewish leaders are calling for you to not make a deal with the Greens on your passes on the external. Will you today rule out a deal with the Greens?
Well, hang on. Peter Wertheim has said something very different, and the Executive Council of Australian Jewry. So we'll respond respectfully to people across the board. We don't have a majority in the Senate, and we'll engage respectfully with people in the Parliament, in both members of the House of Representatives and the Senate, who are engaged. At the moment, this is like trying to grab smoke, trying to get an arrangement with the coalition. How do you do it? They sat back last year and didn't engage at all on environmental laws. Those environmental laws passed the Parliament. We're engaging constructive. I'd say to the coalition, if you can let me know now what they're prepared to vote for, I'll respond to any question that people have, because at the moment I'm not sure what it is, and I don't think they know either.